The next thing that you might want to review on is how to write math formulas like computations, okay? So for example, you can see here, this is like a teacher grade book, and you can see that the papers total 80% of your final mark, and participation makes up 20%. Okay, so before you can get 80% of the papers, you can see that you have three papers, papers 1, 2, and 3. So you need to get the total, or maybe I should just change it to total papers. Okay, you need to get the total mark of your paper. So how do you do that? Instead of adding from your calculator 78 plus 88 plus 90, you need to use a function called sum, S-U-M, okay? So how do we do that? Click on equals, then press S, and you will see sum, okay? If you don't see it here, just look and scroll down and you will find sum, okay? And what numbers do you want? You want this plus this plus this, so just click and drag, okay? And when you're done, click on enter. There you have the sum of all of these numbers, okay? So again, you copy it all the way down. And I want you to do that. From the other lesson, you learned how to copy the same formula down. Next, you want 80% of this because this one, okay, total papers make up 80% of your final mark, okay? Now, how do we do that? Going back to your maths, how do you compute for percentages? Percentages are just like decimals. So you have to divide 80 by 100, and so you have 0.8. So how will you do that? So again, we use an equal function. So you don't need to write down sum now because we want to get, we're multiplying. Okay, so just equal bracket, okay? We want to multiply this by, so get your asterisk, by 80%, which is 0.8. Close bracket, enter, and there you have it, okay? 80% of 256 is 204.8, okay? Now, I want you to copy the formula down, okay? Next, I want you to practice, okay? Participation is 20% of the mark. I want you guys to figure out what the formula is, okay? What the formula is for participation, okay? So just so we can do this, I can just immediately calculate this so that you can compute for the final mark, okay? So participation is 20% of 85%, 85. So what's 20% of 85? That's 17, right? Okay, so I want you to write the formula, but I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to write down 17, okay? And so the final mark will be the addition of this plus this. I need you to write the formula. I'm not going to show you. You need to figure that out, okay? So what is this one plus this one? That's 221.8, okay? Again, you need to write down the formula. I don't want you to use calculators on this one. If you saw how I did this and how I did this, you can do this and you can do this, okay? Remember, final mark is papers plus participation, and participation is 20% of this mark, okay? So figure out the formula. Now I'm going to teach you how to use the if function, okay? So let's say that if your mark is 200 or below, then you pass. But if your mark is above 200, then you super pass, okay? So how do we write that logical statement? We need to use the if function. So again, click on equal, then there you go, if. Okay, so what are we saying? What is the logical test? If the final mark, so click on the final mark, is less than or equal to 200, comma, what will I put in that box? You pass, comma. If it's greater than 200, what does that mean? You super pass. Okay? So if your final mark is 200 or below, you pass. If your what do you call this? If your final mark is above 200, you super pass, okay? So there you go. Since the mark is 221.8, that means you super pass. Now, what does redo mean? I want you to put a formula here that says, okay, for redo, let me write it down here, okay, for the redo. Your formula should be if the final mark is 180 or below, okay, the student needs to redo the course. Okay? So that's the rule that I want you to put over here. Okay? So if you figured if you listen carefully to the how I did the rule here, you will be able to do the redo box. Okay? Now, what I want you to write down, okay? So if the final mark is 180 or below, I want this box to show that the student needs to redo, okay? So I want it to show yes, okay? If it's 180 above, if it's above 180, I want it to show no, okay? So this box must just have yeses or nos, okay? Okay, so try to do that one. Sorry, you just have to copy this part or invent your own marks. You can just put in, um, you know, any number that you want, but keep the headings the same so that you can practice these parts. Okay. As again, hope this helps you. Tata, goodbye. Have a nice week and practicing. Bye bye.